Hey, what's going on, Noel Nation? It's CJ Wilson here with DoakTalk, here to bring you guys some quick hitters in regards to the transfer portal. It's that time of year. This is the second wave of the transfer portal, the spring wave, post-spring practice. So it's going to be a lot of entries within the transfer portal from a numerous of schools across the country. It's just the name of the game right now, right? FSU, they do have to get under the 85 limit as far as scholarships. So it's going to be a lot of movement on both sides for FSU. I do anticipate FSU trying to add some guys in the portal as well. We'll get to that in a second as far as positions and think maybe some possible positions rather. Nothing set in stone that I know for sure. We'll know until things get actually active within the transfer portal on April the 16th. I do know that FSU is at around 89 to 90 scholarships. You got to have the maximum threshold for scholarships is 85. And also you got to realize too that FSU, due to the Amarius Mims recruitment and Alex Atkins situation, there is some sanctions that limit some of our scholarships. I'm not sure if that will have an impact. Well, I'm pretty sure will have an impact in regards to how aggressive FSU is within the portal and things like that. So that's something to be aware of as well. Mark Norvell and staff have to navigate, through that situation, try to not feel like rather, but try to make the best decision for the team moving forward. It's a couple guys from FSU that have already announced their name to enter the transfer portal, not officially yet, until, like I said, until tomorrow, but they have made their intentions clear that they're going to go ahead and hit the transfer portal. Number one, we're going to start off with Greedy Vance, the cornerback / nickelback for FSU, being with us for the past 2 seasons. Came to FSU via the transfer portal from Louisville, so the transfer portal can giveth and it can taketh. He's been a rotational piece for FSU in the secondary the last couple of years, has 4 interceptions within those 2 years at FSU. It wasn't a guarantee that he was going to be the clear-cut starter at the nickelback position. Has been getting some competition from Alabama transfer Earl Little Jr. and things like that. So although I like Greedy Vance's game, I do understand him personally entering the transfer portal. He has 1 year left of eligibility and wants to be, I guess, the unquestioned guy wherever school he chooses to go to. So I definitely understand that aspect of it. Like I said, you got to see both sides of the portal. If you're going to be receptive to the portal as far as players coming in, you got to understand the situation as far as players leaving via the transfer portal as well. So again, Greedy Vance, he's a very scrappy guy, physical guy, plays good football. I'm going to miss him for sure, but I don't think I do want to say that FSU, the defensive back room in general, is one of the deepest positions on the FSU roster, right? So we have a lot of guys that can, play some football and fill that void. Now, the big issue now will be experience because after to be within the secondary, after in the nucleus of the nickel position, as it is, you got Earl Little Jr., Edwin Joseph, a few other guys that's going to be, I guess, competing for that spot. There is a lack of experience. Great talent, a lot of potential, but not much experience, and that's something Greedy Vance has brought to the table. A wealth of experience over his few years at FSU and, of course, at Louisville as well. So that's going to probably be the biggest miss in regards to Greedy Vance leaving, and that's just his experience and understanding the nature of the game. But good luck to Greedy. I think he's going to be a star and a good player wherever he goes. Joshua Burrell, former 3-star receiver out of South Carolina, he announced like a month or so ago that he's going to be entering the transfer portal. A guy that's been around the program, he's been at a lot of the FSU practices as well and things like that. Still being, how can I put this, active within the program, with not actually being within the program, on the roster rather. So yeah, Joshua Burrell, he's another guy that's going to be leaving in the transfer portal. I do foresee FSU, a lot more guys leaving for FSU. I don't know specific names or anything like that, but I could take a guess in regards to some positions. We could probably see guys exit. We could probably see some guys exit within the defensive back room, the receiver room. I can see some guys within the receiver rooms probably trying to maximize opportunities with the few years left to play. That they haven't played that much at FSU, haven't cracked that rotation for whatever reason. I can see those guys possibly leaving as well. Offensive line room, I can see some offensive linemen looking for other opportunities moving forward as well. So offensive line, the receiver room, the defensive back room, and maybe I don't really see it, but possibly defensive line. Hell, you never know it within the this transfer portal nowadays. It's the wild, wild west. But I guess the main positions, like I would say, probably receiver, defensive back, and offensive line. Those would be the positions I will foresee the most. Maybe a tight end as well. But we'll see how that plays out. Like I said, the portal officially opens on April the 16th. We'll have all the names in the world, as far as the official names that's going to enter the transfer portal and possibly leave for FSU. It's been a lot of players from other teams as well that have entered the transfer portal, and a lot of fans have been asking questions as far as these guys and possible ties to FSU. Want to go over a few guys just to see exactly. We'll go over a few guys just to let you guys know in my opinion, what I think FSU would do as far as possibly recruiting them in the transfer portal. Jason Zandamela, if you guys remember, this was the 4-star offensive lineman from Clearwater Academy, one of the top 100 players in the country, one of the best interior linemen within the country. He was the former teammate of FSU's offensive tackle and top 100 player as well, Lucas Simmons. This was a very weird recruitment, to say the least, right? FSU was the perceived leader for the majority of his recruitment, taking multiple visits to FSU and things like that. Like I said, you have the relationship tie with Lucas Simmons and things like that. Coach Alex Atkins built a very good relationship with Zandamela, the coaches, and just the Clearwater Academy organization as a whole. Long story short, Jason Zandamela took an official visit to USC over the summer, and he committed to USC just like that on that visit and didn't really look back. Ended up enrolling at USC for the spring semester, and hell, he didn't have a chance to unpack his bags. He's already in the transfer portal and looking to leave USC. He's only been there for a couple months, participated a little bit in the spring practice, but he's decided to enter the transfer portal and leave USC. Jason Zandamela is a guy that I can see FSU pursuing moving forward. Like I said, he has 4 years remaining. They were very high on him as a high school prep, and like I said, 4 years remaining. He is rather a true freshman that hasn't lost any eligibility and things like that. So I do foresee FSU possibly recruiting Zandamela for the second time, and we'll see how it plays out as far as him coming. I'm pretty sure it will be a lot more to FSU. He was a highly recruited guy, so FSU and the rest of the country will be on Zandamela's tail. But again, it all boils down to the numbers as well too for FSU. Like I said, we're at around 88 to 90 as far as the current scholarship guys. You got to get down to 85, and then if you want to add more through the transfer portal, you got to get lower than the 85 threshold to try to add one. Again, you got to factor in these sanctions too. So I'm not exactly sure what the scholarship numbers are looking like for sure, or how many guys FSU are trying to add within this portal window. But we have to be very strategic in regards to the attack due to that situation. But I do feel like Zandamela will be one of the guys they would definitely take a chance on if that's the case. But we'll see how it goes moving forward. Nijalik Kelley, this is another interesting one. This is the former 4-star top 100 player and former FSU commit too from Dillard High School. Ended up flipping to the Miami Hurricanes once Mario Cristobal ended up getting that job, decided to stay home. Very talented defensive end. He had 4 sacks his true freshman year. Was not inline to start. He was a starter this past season as a sophomore, but he has been battling a lot of injuries within the shoulder and things like that, and still hasn't. If I'm not mistaken, he didn't participate in spring practice at Miami as well due to the shoulder issue. Long story short, ended up entering the transfer portal from Miami. This is a guy that a lot of fans have been asking about due to the ties to FSU and things like that, being a commit at one point. Also, he was one of the very first commits within that 2023 recruiting cycle. He was one of the first commits. FSU got on him pretty early when he was like a low-ranked 3-star, ended up blowing up throughout the process. So, but with Nijalik Kelley, I'm not sure. I'm not really sure that FSU pursues him at this point in time. FSU was very aggressive in the transfer portal within the defensive end ranks for the December transfer portal window. You guys remember we ended up adding Marvin Jones Jr. We ended up grabbing Sonohe Lole. Excuse me, Sonohe, if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly. We're gonna do a Lolo for short. He was second team All Pac-12 this past season, and we also ended up getting Durage from West Virginia, another defensive end, big body guy, to go along with Patrick Payton and the guys we already have on the roster, Brian Turner and things like that. So I don't foresee FSU pursuing Nijalik Kelley, but we'll see. We have seen weirder things happen, and also pass rush is a position, defensive end rather is a position that FSU's value, and you can't have enough of those guys, right? But just from the sheer numbers, I don't see FSU pursuing Nijalik Kelley at this point in time. Moving on to another guy that's been getting a lot of people, a lot of talk and a lot of interest in regards to possible FSU pursuit. Defensive tackle Jermaine Lole from Louisville. He's a guy that fans have been talking about in regards to pursuing. He announced he's going to enter the transfer portal from Louisville. I don't foresee FSU pursuing him at this point in time. He has 1 year eligibility left. This is going to his 7th year, actually. Ended up starting his career at Arizona State, ended up transferring to Louisville. He's had a lot of injuries and durability issues over the course of his career, whether it's, leg injuries, shoulder injuries, whatever it may be. There's a lot of injuries, a lot of history of injuries. So I don't foresee FSU pursuing him within the transfer portal at this point in time. Just want to throw that out there to you guys. But again, the transfer portal does open up officially tomorrow, 4/16. FSU has to get under the scholarship number, and they're going to be looking to add some guys. So it's going to be very interesting to see the plan Mike Norvell and staff has for this second wave of the transfer portal. And also just be on the lookout because it happens every year. It's a guy that kind of shocks you that you're surprised about the entering the transfer portal. So again, just remember the portal giveth and the portal giveth and the portal taketh. So like I said, don't take up a personal vendetta or whatever it may be, a guy that's possibly in the transfer portal. They're looking for the best situation for them. And also it could be the situation where, FSU, they're just looking to move on due to sheer scholarship numbers, and it's not working out for whatever player that may be. So again, make sure you guys tap in with DoakTalk once the portal officially does open. It's going to be chaos, and we're going to have you guys covered 100%. So make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel. Go Noles.